Correct.
Using the Wikipedia to mark
Yeah.
to stop like stop pop people, mark pop people. Really proud.
Yeah, I don't say hi lah.
He's now Marvel.
So the band was started in Stockport, was it?
That's correct.
You both grew up in Salford.
These two grew up in Stockport, and I grew up down south, and I moved up to Salford to university,
Okay.
which is where I bumped into these two.
And then we all got like a flat together in the centre of Manchester. And that's when we became a Manchester band.
Oh, okay, okay. But let's talk about sort of where Delphic sort of came from. Stockport, what's that place like?
It continually gets voted one of the worst places in the UK.
But wasn't it voted the best place?
It was recently voted the best place, but I think that comes to being ironic because, or they've never been there. It's pretty dismal. It's like
It couldn't be more different than Kuala Lumpur. It's
very grey.
Yeah, grey. Lots of concrete. Lots of red brick mills. There's not much green space.
But we actually used to live. We all used to rehearse at my mum and dad's house in Marple, which is just outside of Stockport, which is a bit more green and a bit. It gives you a bit more hope about life.
So did you, since it's Labor Day, let's talk about the jobs you guys used to have before Delphic. Did you guys used to do anything else other than music before there was Delphic?
Yeah, I worked in a sandwich factory for one day. I worked in a sports shop. I worked in a DIY shop. I worked in a bagel shop, and I worked in a Dyson Hoover factory.
Oh wow!
That was quite cool.
Yeah, Dyson's from England. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that was quite cool. Very boring, but quite cool. And then to top it all off, this was the best job. I was a guitar tutor for a little bit. I taught groups of kids, and as did Rick. Rick taught groups of kids drums.
Oh, beautiful. What was it? Did you used to do anything before?
Yeah, I did a few. I worked as a cashier at a supermarket, which was pretty cool. Met a lot of nice people. And
You got some free shoes and stuff.
yeah,
didn't you?
well, discounted shoes,
So it's a free
cheap
cheese.
food. Yeah, I worked as a research assistant as well. I guess that's the most proper job.
In psychology.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It was
yeah.
actually pretty good when Matt was working at Marks and Spencer's because we were all living together at the time. So Matt would bring home heavily discounted food from that day.
Biscuits and
Yeah,
so at
like
the end of
nice
the day-
steaks and things and
Yeah.
veg and like cook for us and stuff sometimes. But sometimes he just
It
do
was all stuff that was going out of date, you see. So they gave it to you for like 20% of the original price, which is pretty good, right?
Awesome. Did your friends enjoy that food?
I don't know. I mean, we didn't get ill too much, so you know, it was okay. Yeah.
What about you?
Well, yeah, I was a drum teacher for a bit. I spent a large portion of my life getting away with not having a job, so that was quite good. And then I had to have a few jobs in like a pub for a bit and call centre for a bit. But we just kind of were pretty certain we were going to do something in a band. We kept on telling people we would, so it's a bloody good job we did, to be honest.
Well, the guy said something interesting. They said there wasn't much life before Delphic. But Delphic was a 6-man band before you guys started calling yourself
under
Delphic.
a different name with a different singer and a different drummer and stuff like that.
And a totally different sound.
Yeah, I guess there's a few undercurrents that are similar, you know, the kind of a few chord sequences that we might like, but generally it's a different sound, and we were doing it for the wrong reasons, really. You know, we were doing it to try and get a record deal and to try and be a famous band and stuff, and it wasn't really good. And then we thought, you know what, let's just cut this off and do what we want to do, regardless of whether we'll get a record deal or whatever. And then it happened very naturally, and we just made the music we wanted to make, and then it kind of worked out. So.
Which brought you to Acolytes and Collections.
Yep.
Both pretty good albums.
Pretty good.
Very good. I enjoyed
Very
it.
good.
Solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, a solid 7.
I mean, pretty could
great,
be 5 to 7, really. But you know.
Metacritic like 6.5.
Yeah.
And that sound, though, you've got that distinctive Delphic sound, a very upbeat. You know, there's always energy, and it seems like that's one thing you want your audience to feel, is that you want them to have fun and sort of, perhaps, is that sort of safely said?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, a lot of music nowadays is quite soulless. You know, a lot of it's quite processed, and while we process sounds, I think we always try and put a bit of soul in it. You know?
Yeah.
Give people something to think about with the lyrics. You know, try and make them feel something as well as jump up and down.
Yeah. I'm sure in Manchester it gets pretty crazy. It's quite a fun city.
Yeah, Manchester is boisterous.
Beautiful. What were you guys listening to before there was Delphic?
Lots of like Chemical Brothers and
Orbital and Underworld, who liked a lot of like and like 90s acid house music and stuff.
Okay, like Teenage Satari.
I don't know, like 808 State maybe, or Underground Resistance. Pretty cool.
Listening to a lot of dance and techno, kind of like back in, I suppose, 2007, before like the whole EDM market had come over from America. We're just listening to a sort of lot of like classic dance tunes.
Yeah.
And then we tried to find a way of merging those influences with what would be a live band. So using a live drummer, using a live bass player, using keyboards and guitars, and finding a way of bringing the two worlds together. So yeah, Chemical Brothers and Daft Punk and Orbital Underworld, really big influences on the first record.
Well, that's it. Delphic, the first tour in Southeast Asia. First time in Malaysia, a show in the B. Happy Labor Day. Thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.